Vision 2028. We are so fortunate at Grace Church to be part of this long line of stewarding this land, relationships, stewarding God's grace through the gift of word and sacraments for 150 years in 2028. One of the ways the vestry has decided to celebrate our 150th anniversary is to focus on preserving what we have and preparing for God's future. That's the motto of our Vision 2028 campaign. The campaign has two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. We're in phase 1. Our goals during this part of the campaign are to raise about $100,000 for 3 projects. The first project is all about preserving what we have, and it's attending to some deferred maintenance projects that we need to repair, such as some siding that's rotting on our building. The second part of this project is very exciting. We are going to be placing solar panels on our roof. Sometime later this year is our hope. The vestry chose to do this at the end of 2025 to take advantage of about 40% off with tax rebates, incentives that were disappearing at the end of 2025. And for those of you who were here when we put a new roof on in 22 and 23, we intentionally chose a metal roof with standing seams so that one day we could install solar panels. The good news about solar, several things. One, it's a tool of evangelism because it shows how we are reverencing God's creation and using the free gift of sunlight to contribute to the electricity needs that we have. Also, this project will pay for itself within 12 years. And as soon as the solar panels are installed, we'll begin seeing a reduction in our utility bills. This is such an exciting project. The third part is really about preparing for God's future. The vestry has decided that it makes sense for us to hire an architectural design firm to go through a very intense and wonderful listening process and helping us understand how we're using our space now, how we might improve using that space, and how our space use might come to align more with our current values, current needs, and anticipatory needs. For example, accessibility is a real issue for some of us, and to get into the chancel right now, you have to use stairs. Another example is we have a wonderful downstairs area that's hard to get to because of stairs. We also have an organ that is on its absolute last legs. There's no more software updates for us. It could go out at any time. We need a design firm to help us evaluate what our needs and priorities are. And at the end of that process, what Grace will be given is a set of architectural plans. And that's when the vestry and the people, all of us together, will decide if there will be a phase 2 of Vision 2028. What part of those architectural plans will we decide God is calling us to implement? So that's Vision 2028, phase 1 in a nutshell. As I said, we're trying to raise $100,000 for this project, for these 3 projects. The campaign will end the end of July. However, we will still accept pledged gifts beyond the end of July. We're ending it at the end of July because our annual giving stewardship education time will be from mid-September to mid-October. And the most important way that anybody can support Grace Church is by giving annually to our operating fund, something we call pledging. And we don't want Vision 2028 in any way to negatively impact our operational funding, which comes through your annual giving. So we hope that you'll consider making a donation. All amounts count. We're so grateful. Right now we've had 14 donors and we are over the $50,000 mark, so we have about $50,000 more to go. The vestry has earmarked, if we need to, we can use some of the earnings from our endowment fund to help us get there. But there's a sense, and I'm speaking for the vestry here, that we'd prefer, if we can, to keep building that endowment to our $2 million goal for the long-term legacy of the place. So if we can avoid taking the endowment earnings for this phase of the campaign, fantastic. If we can't, we are so grateful to God and to those who have given to the endowment, such that it has earnings that we can use. So it is with a lot of hope and gratitude and anticipation and joy that I invite you to participate in Vision 2028. God bless you.